Well, the perfect dictatorship is one that works very well on its own terms for itself. It's not perfect in the meaning it's perfect for the people. It's perfect in that it has got it right. I'm Stein Ringen. I'm an emeritus professor at the University of Oxford. And for the last few years, I have been a student of the Chinese political system, producing a book out of my observations called The Perfect Dictatorship. The Chinese dictatorship is like none other. We have never seen anything like it. And it is now very, very smooth. So smooth that in some respects it doesn't even look dictatorial, but it is in control. Since it's unique, I give it a name. I call it a controlocracy. Well, the first stage was the Maoist stage, which was an undescribable disaster. It's for me still working on it, it's painful to think about the sacrifices resulting from the Great Leap Forward and the Cultural Revolution. Altogether 40, maybe 50 million deaths. Undescribable. So that was the first stage. Then Mao left. Second stage was inaugurated with Deng Xiaoping. And the thing with Deng Xiaoping is that he was committed to economic modernization, but political restitution. So his opening up was very explicitly from the beginning economic, but not political. He was in the business of restoring the state. Now, when he came in, the state was financially bankrupt. And what he did was to reconstitute the fiscal basis of the state in order to preserve the state. Now, during the 1980s, it was a little bit up and down, but with 1889, that was reinforced. It was made absolutely clear to the Chinese people that a liberal future is not in their gift. There is now a new leader in place, Xi Jinping, and he has taken the People's Republic into its third phase. And that is a third phase of ever tighter repression. They are very adept in the use of modern technology. And they use the internet, social media, partly to control and partly to spread information and propaganda. A lot of the stuff that circulates on the web in China looks like it's coming from ordinary people, but is coming from one or two of the 2 million internet monitors that the security services have in work to follow what is happening on the internet. The determination of this regime is to preserve itself, and it has learned from its own history that in order to do that safely, it needs to be in control. Control is in the DNA of the system. They control. They do not dictate everything. People in China now can do a lot, get away with a lot. Those of us who visit, we know that in many ways there is free speech in China. But when it matters, it gets controlled. And when it matters, it gets controlled in the most ferocious way, cracked down. And the meeting ground between the security services and those who oppose the regime is ugly. It's hard to believe, but in a population of almost 1.4 billion people, the party system knows everything, sees everything, and hears everything. And they do know the people who are in opposition by name. It is quite astonishing what they know and what they are aware of before it happens. The party is a very big apparatus. I'm a statistically minded person. I've tried to estimate, and more than half of the adult population are co-opted into the party system in some kind of membership. Now, any organized activity out of that system, outside of that system, is not allowed. A lot of individual activity is allowed, but organized activity out of that system is not allowed. That gets cracked down upon. That is not permitted. Even if what they organize about is not subversive, but the fact of organization outside of the party system, that is the real control area where we see the ruthless control at work. That's what they are really, really afraid of. I don't think there is any way that the Chinese regime can be changed from the outside, but it is always in the balance. And what we possibly can do from the outside is to prevent this regime from getting, in dictatorial terms, worse than it already is. And the Chinese are sensitive to how they are seen in the world. I don't think we should have any illusion that we can change this regime, but I think we may hope that we can do something to prevent it from getting even further towards an all-out totalitarian state.